So what else is in this organic computer called our subconscious mind? First is all our memories since the day we were born, our data bank. And even though we don't remember everything at the conscious level, our subconscious mind never forgets anything and has stored these memories to the last detail. And if we need to, in hypnosis, we can access that memory bank. The second programming we have in our subconscious mind is habits. The good, the bad, and the utilitarian. Habits cause us to automatically respond in a certain fashion when something happens. The phone rings, we answer it. All habits are initiated as conscious thought. But before we know it, conscious behavior becomes a subconscious program or habit. The next thing in our subconscious mind is emotion. And there are no emotions at the conscious level. So when we express emotions, they come directly from the subconscious mind right through the conscious mind and out. Which is why sometimes when we express our emotions, we don't express them as maturely as we think we are. And we wonder, now why did I handle it that way? The next thing in the subconscious mind, and probably the most important part of it, is our protective mind. This part of us must protect us against real or imagined danger. You see, something imagined by the subconscious mind is just as if it was actually happening. It can't tell the difference. This part of the subconscious mind is one of the reasons why hypnosis is so safe, because the protective part of your mind is actually elevated during hypnosis. The last part of the subconscious mind is a little negative. Although the subconscious mind is incredibly powerful, it is also the laziest part of us. It doesn't like to do the work required to accept positive suggestions. It likes to keep things just the way they are. Positive suggestions are one of the most difficult things to get into our subconscious minds. On the other hand, negative suggestions go into the inner part of us like a hot knife through butter, because it doesn't take any work to accept a negative suggestion. So do a quick work required comparison between I'm going to lose 20 pounds and get into peak physical shape and I'm getting fatter every day. Positive suggestions are hard to get into the subconscious because being as lazy as it is, the subconscious mind has hired an employee called the critical factor to keep those positive suggestions out. Imagine the critical factor as a guard at the gate of the subconscious mind, a big muscled guard that deflects any suggestions that the subconscious deems to be inconsistent with what's already there, or anything that requires too much work on the subconscious mind's part. Say, for instance, our programming tells us that we're not all that great, we're not that smart, not that capable. Even though we hear a lot of positive things from our friends, our family, our bosses, or even ourselves, because that "you're great" information is contrary to what's already in our programming, the guard says, "Oh, sorry, that's inconsistent with what's already there," and bounces it out. That's why it's very difficult to change our perception of ourselves from the outside in. We need to work from the inside out. Another example is the good old diet. I'm going to lose 20 pounds and I really, really mean it this time. The subconscious mind recognizes the work that goes into losing 20 pounds and simply has that guard kick that suggestion to the curb. Now that suggestion only has one other place to go, and that's to willpower. And we all know how long willpower lasts. Now this next part is the most important part of this whole video. So listen carefully, and if you remember nothing else that I've said, please remember this. How do we get past that guard, the critical factor of the conscious mind, to get the suggestions for change that we want into the subconscious mind? We use hypnosis to bypass that critical factor and change our programming using positive suggestions. It's important that you understand that the conscious mind still plays a very important role while you're in hypnosis. With a critical factor bypassed, your conscious mind takes over the role of the guard to protect you. So when you receive a suggestion in hypnosis, it's your conscious mind that decides whether that suggestion is going to be accepted in as new programming and whether you're going to be successful at making the change that you've come here for. In other words, your conscious mental attitude is the greatest determinant of your success. If you choose to leave your natural skepticism outside the door and enter your session with an open mind and a positive attitude, The suggestions you receive during your session will go into your organic computer and change will begin to happen immediately. It's also important that you delete hope and try from your vocabulary. Hope and try are failure words. Try gives you an automatic out and means failure. Anytime you've said to yourself, I am going to do it and there was no question about it, you did it and you probably did it really well. Hope is just as big a failure word as try because it puts the responsibility in someone else's hands. So delete hope and try and substitute I will or I can, and then just relax and enjoy your success. Trying is part of the conscious mind, as is analyzing, rationalizing, deciding, or criticizing. So anytime you catch yourself doing any one of these, you're elevating your conscious mind. And the more elevated your conscious mind is, the less elevated your subconscious mind. So all you need to do is relax. Allow your conscious mind to take a well-deserved mental vacation. Keep an open mind and a positive attitude. When you do this, your conscious mind goes down, your subconscious mind goes up, and the more elevated your subconscious mind, the easier it is for us to extract the information that we need and put in the new positive programming that will allow for the changes you desire. Now let's spend a minute talking about what hypnosis feels like. People have all sorts of expectations, and if the experience doesn't meet their expectations, they question their success or whether they were even in hypnosis. Some people expect to be in a trance or asleep. They expect not to be able to hear, remember, or respond. Or they expect to feel paralyzed or some significant physical sensation. Hypnosis is a state of mind, not a state of body. So typically it doesn't feel like anything different. Some people get a tingling in their hands or a lightness or heaviness in their limbs. But there are rarely any physical sensations associated. At most, people's breathing tends to become slower and deeper, and they may swallow more. Physically, you're very relaxed, but mentally you're very alert, like that moment just before you fall asleep at night when you're relaxed but you hear every little sound in the house. So just go with the flow, and at some point during your session you'll experience something that will indicate to you that you were in hypnosis. Or better yet, the changes you experience after your session will erase any doubt.